A vote this week here at the European Parliament in Strasbourg confirmed a renewed mandate for José Manuel Barroso as President of the European Commission. The result was a resounding success for the EPP group. Immediately after the vote, EPP Group Chairman Joseph Daul said the result was a good thing for Europe.
It's a success for our political group, a huge success. What's more, 100% of our group was present, so a group discipline came into play there, despite the debates that took place in July. It's a very big success for us, and a very big success for Europe and Europeans.
José Manuel Barroso is the first elected president of the Commission to have his mandate renewed for a second term by the European Parliament. He obtained a majority of 382 votes, which is well over the requirement of the Lisbon Treaty. When he asked the members of the House to vote for him, Barroso promised to form a commission which will be political and which will fully assume this role.
We need a strong Europe, a strong European Commission. A strong Commission, let's be frank, has to be a political Commission. But the political Commission must not be a partisan Commission.
Laying out his programme to the members of Parliament, Barroso called for a transformational agenda. The elected president paid particular attention to the handling of the financial crisis and the way to prevent a repeat in the future. He spoke about the social dimension of the Union, and he touched on the problem of illegal immigration, promising to create a special portfolio.
It is crucial that we get regulation that ensures the responsibility and the legitimacy of the financial sector without suffocating innovation. I want Europe to keep its world leadership in financial services. The crisis is not over for those who have lost their jobs. And we cannot say the crisis is over before we come back to creation of employment instead of rising unemployment. I will also create a Commissioner for Internal Affairs and Migration, including security. One of the key tasks of this Commissioner will be to develop a truly common approach to migration, promoting the integration of legal migrants, fighting illegal migration and related criminal activities, and ensuring solidarity between member states.
The chairman of the EPP group, Joseph Daul, expressed his satisfaction because European voters approved the choice of the group when they gave the EPP a majority at the European election last June. And he went on to explain why the EPP has offered its support to Barroso.
Dear colleagues, the EPP supports José Manuel Barroso because he has proved his worth. He has proved himself with the energy climate package, and he has enabled Europe to become the world pioneer in the fight against global warming. Europe will be the role model at the Copenhagen conference. He has demonstrated his worth by moralizing the financial systems, allowing Europe to learn the first lessons from a financial crisis that nobody, I mean nobody, anticipated. In the past, Europe has been treated as a political dwarf. How can we not be happy that, on two major concerns of Europeans, the crisis and the climate, Europe is finally on the front line?
Daul called on the President of the Council to push for the composition of the Commission in full as soon as possible following the re-election of Barroso as Commission President.
Across the EU, farmers are struggling with falling prices for dairy products. Both the economic crisis and global overproduction have seen prices drop considerably on the EU market. This has led to strikes and protests across Europe. This week, Parliament approved an extension of EU measures intervening in the dairy market.
The dairy crisis was at the top of the agenda when Europe's agriculture ministers met on Tuesday. And on Thursday morning, it was Parliament's turn to address the issue. Farmers have been protesting all over Europe. In France, they've been on strike, and in Belgium, they've been discarding milk. Such action has become a common occurrence recently. The reason is a sharp drop in prices of dairy products. During the past 12 months, prices for milk have nearly halved, falling from up to 40 cents a litre to 21 cents. This provoked an intervention by the European Commission, and there has been a slight increase in prices during the past month. Butter is up by 4% and milk powder by 2 to 3%, but farmers are still struggling. German MEP Albert Dess, a member of Parliament's Agriculture Committee, would like to see further measures from the Commission.
The
dairy sector is in a very difficult situation. Many of our dairy farmers see their very existence under threat. And we know, of course, that has had serious consequences on milk products and dairy products. And the Commission should perhaps have reacted a little bit more swiftly. In fact, as I see it personally, rather than talking about larger volumes in terms of intervention, I think it would have been better for us to have measures to try to market these products in a better way. If you look at butterfat, for instance, the one that is being used in the catering industry, you may remember that last year the price was about €4, and since then, when it comes to butterfat, you know the industry has really changed its position. We are talking about hundreds of thousands of tons in just Germany, which is no longer being processed by the industry. So we are talking about 1 million tons of milk. That is what it represents. So we need to market things better in the future to make sure that we can deal with this issue.
Irish MEP Mairead McGuinness, also a member of the Agriculture Committee, had met with farmers.
Can I say that when farm women start protesting, you know there is a serious difficulty. And at the weekend I met a group of Irish women called Farm Women for a Fair Price. And I think we should note the word fair price, because producers are not getting a decent or fair price, and that's what this debate is about.
Ahead of the upcoming G20 summit in Pittsburgh, the Commission and the Swedish presidency presented their plan for tackling the global financial crisis to Parliament. Curbing executives' bonuses is one of the issues on the agenda.
The bankruptcy of Lehman Brothers Investment Bank in September 2008 triggered worldwide financial fallout. 2 months later, the first G20 summit on financial markets and the world economy took place in Washington, D.C. Initiated by the EU, it achieved general consensus amongst leaders on how to deal with the financial crisis and lay the foundation for reform to avoid similar crises in the future. The G20 comprises 19 of the world's largest national economies, plus the European Union. At its next meeting in Pittsburgh on the 24th and 25th of September, the EU and the heads of 19 industrialized and emerging states, including China, India and Brazil, will discuss the compensation packages and bonuses paid by financial institutions to their employees. They will examine the question of tighter supervision and regulation of financial markets, and they will look at the resources and governance of the IMF, job creation, energy efficiency, the Doha trade talks and aid to low-income countries.
The G20 summit is an important summit where decisions need to be made on structural changes in risk management and improved rules for financial monitoring. Work must also begin on a coordinated exit strategy and a speedy reform of the IMF and World Bank. The inappropriate bonus culture must be tackled with binding rules. Bonuses that reward profits in the short term are dangerous to the stability of financial institutions. There is a lot of justifiable public indignation, which is also why it is important to show decisiveness here.
The EPP Group considers that the G20 summit in Pittsburgh must conclude with binding agreements. If the G20 fails to do this, the EU must take the lead in finding creative solutions, just as it does in the field of combating the negative effects of climate change.
For more information on the week's highlight, visit our website eppgroup.eu. Thanks for watching.